hockey. Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
It's Judd. It's AJ. It is JHS off of a game that AJ and I watched together on Saturday night. A very ugly performance in which the Wild was booed off the ice against the Blues. We'll talk about that in a second. But before I do that, I want to tell you about some good news, and that's the opportunity to join these two good-looking guys for a JHS on Monday, March 24th at Padres in Minneapolis. Judd's Hockey Show Unplugged. We'll be doing a podcast. We'll be meeting and greeting and talking lots of sports. Your first drink of the night, by the way, is on Padres just for coming out. Hang with us. Again, watch a live podcast. We want your feedback and thoughts as well. Stick around then and watch Minnesota play Dallas at 7 p.m. in professional hockey. That's right. You do need to register to attend. Sign up at scorenorth.com/JHS Unplugged. That's scorenorth.com/JHS Unplugged. You need to register to attend, but you do not need to pay. It's free. Padres is in the historic Broadway building on the corner of Broadway and Central Avenue South in Northeast Minneapolis. So a good time. And by the way, speaking of, you get to try that delicious Padres beer I've been talking about for so long. I'm telling you right now, the red is fantastic. Absolutely great. Why is Padres so good? Why do I want you to try their beer? Because all they do is beer, and that is the most important thing. They're not working in the back room on a bunch of drinks that you don't care about. If you love beer, you will love Padres. All right, Age, I've got a primary talker here that I want to get to, but where are you now as far as the state of this team, which cannot score a goal to save its life?
Yeah.
In fact, I'll give you a quick stat here. Since the Four Nations, they are 4-6-1 and have 2 goals or fewer in 9 of those 11 games. They just can't score. They got booed off the ice on Saturday. We both went to the post-game access, and they are literally searching for answers while John Hines tries to remain as upbeat as possible. So what is your current assessment of the state of a team that was once in first place in the entire league?
I'm not going to say I'm panicked because they still have a little bit of a cushion. They won a handful of games at the start of the year that has not, like, it's been the exact opposite from what we've seen the past couple of seasons where they get off to this unbearably slow start. And it's like, you know what? Now we're going to start playing hockey. It's February. We should probably start trying. It's the opposite. They got out to that really, really good start back in October. And now they kind of have a little bit of a cushion, but that cushion, Judd, has shrunk and to where they got to start winning some games here and there. 6 points up on the Blues, 6 points up on the Canucks, both with 73 points. 1 game in hand over St. Louis right now. But as we saw this past weekend, the St. Louis Blues look like a far superior team at this moment than the Minnesota Wild. So I would not say that I am necessarily sitting here relaxed thinking, 6 points, or what is it? 5 points 6 points at this time is enough to probably coast into the postseason in one of the wild card spots. Simply, that's just not true. You'd have to think like the moves that they made at the deadline, or lack thereof, I should say, tell me that they are hopeful that Eric Sinek and Caprizov are back. That's what they've been saying. That's what Bill Guerin literally said. He's like, they should be back before the end of the regular season. You got to expect that when those two are back, things drastically change. But frankly, I still somewhat have my own doubts about the actual return times of both of those. If what he's saying is true, then I'm not necessarily super worried, but like I said, I have my own reservations. So the play recently has been really bad. Like, there's no creativity offensively.
Well, Saturday was awful.
The 2 most recent goals I want to say they've scored. Let's think about this. One was a egregious missed. No, sorry. I guess I think I'm thinking of the Pittsburgh game last Sunday. Mm-hmm. A egregious missed call in the neutral zone. 4-on-1, they score. Not a lot of offense in the middle of the week. And then yesterday, it took Joel Hofer to skate behind his own net, throw a beautiful pass. I want to say it was to Oscar Sundqvist, potentially, who just like left the drop.
It was Kyrou.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jordan Kyrou screwed up, but he scored a hat trick, so he's
exactly. So he made up for it. But Kyrou, beautiful drop pass to Jake Middleton, who I think, was bewildered when he picked up the puck because Hofer was still not in his goal despite it being like 5 seconds. He was like, I'm going to take the scenic route back to the crease. And that's how they scored. Like, that was their lone goal. Did they generate a couple big chances? Sure. But also, another talking point would be this team simply needs to hit the net more. The amount of high grade chances or just like high percentage areas that they just shoot and nothing, no rebound comes of it is crazy. So the offense right now has been pitiful. I'm a little worried, but I wouldn't say I'm pressing the panic button. I don't know where you are.
Saturday was awful. They were just. I thought that despite what Hines said, and he tried to be, and I think that's just him. He's going to try and be as positive as possible publicly. The players are clearly trying to be positive, but they are searching. Zuccarello is a pretty easy guy to read, and he was trying to say the right things, but he also was like, "We got it. This is ridiculous," and he's right. I looked this up yesterday, and it's just a snapshot of how little production that this team is getting from guys that have to produce. Marco Rossi, since the Four Nations, has 2 goals, 4 assists, a -5 in 11 games. In the last 9 games, so take out those first 2 games back, which includes, I think, a 4-3 OT win in Detroit to begin the stretch back from the tournament. In the last 9 games, 3 assists, no goals, 3 assists, -7. Okay. Matt Boldy, since the Four Nations, he has 1 goal and 6 assists. He's a -7 in 11 games. That goal came in the Detroit game at Little Caesars Arena, so he has no goals in the last 10 games. Brock Faber, another one. Since the tournament in which he played really well, and he continues to play way too much at this point, he has 1 goal, 1 assist. Okay, come on, he's a defenseman. He's a -11. That and it does. You feel every one of those. The amount of times now that he is left with his head tilted up towards the roof of the arena after a goal, -11 in 11 games. Zuccarello, since the Four Nations, 3 goals, 2 assists, so 5 points, -2 in 11 games. But across the board, you have to get more. And I mean, Rossi, yes, Boldy for sure. Faber, we can talk about this, but I mean, he's exhausted. He looks it. He's getting more passes picked off now. Like his attempted clears aren't very good. Like he is just, it looks like his arms are dead. I think his legs are dead. And so
his backtracking isn't as good. Like he got beat by 38-year-old Sidney Crosby in last week, and there's been multiple instances of that, and you could see the frustration with him clearly boiling over when he broke his stick across the post in that too.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, this team can't score. We could say, and I agree with this to a certain degree. Well, when Caprizov and Ek, but especially Caprizov, are out, where are the goals going to come from? But the depth is just nil. I'm with you. I have serious doubts. And look, the reality is this, and the Wild would admit this: they haven't told the truth on Kaprizov the entire time, so we have no idea. Like you can't go from, well, it's a short-term thing, he's fine, to now he's back to, oh my God, he has to have surgery. Now it's 4 to 6 weeks, which at the time I said he ain't out 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be beyond that. There's no question about it. So I don't think that the Wild, if you just said, hey, let's admit you are either making this up or you're lying. Which is what the league allows. So I have serious doubts who's back when. If Caprizov comes back, he has now missed an incredible amount of games. He has now played, I think he had missed 1 game before he got hurt because he got hit in Edmonton on that sort of cheap hit. He missed the next night. But I mean, he hasn't played basically since the end of December now, since Christmas. So if and when he comes back, to expect him to come back and just fire away like, oh, he got 5 regular season games and now he's set to go. Come on that.
Yeah.
Which leads me to this question. I want to start this conversation now. I want to continue it with Jessie Pierce when she joins us on Tuesday, but I think it's a fair question to ask. And to me, it's the most important question. The team is falling apart. I get that. You're probably right. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but even if they do, they are sunk unless things change drastically. So, do you think this team's current struggles are causing Kirill to have second thoughts about staying here, considering what he's seeing from the supporting cast? Like when you watch Boldy, and it's like he's doing nothing for you. And And do you think that conversely, the Wild, because Kirill has missed significant time, 2 years ago missed 15 games. Last season, 7 games. That's not that bad. It's now 30 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you think, big picture, 10,000 foot view age, how do you think this entire thing is affecting Kirill and Kirill's market here as far as like this to me is eye opening on both sides? One, he's got something wrong that's cost him 30 bleeping games and he's been hurt before. And two, if you're him, are you watching this and saying, I don't even think on July 1st that we can sign enough to help me to win a Stanley Cup?
When it comes to first addressing like the supporting cast that he's watching around, I would imagine because you're frustrated, I'm frustrated. I'm sure everybody watching this, listening to this show, when they sit on their couch and watch this team, they're probably frustrated about the offensive output going on right now on this team. The problem is that none of us are like suiting up when healthy. Kirill Kaprizov is the guy. So when he says, look, these are all my friends, I'm sure he has close relationships with a lot of them. Like, I'm sure he doesn't look at like Matt Zuccarello and probably say like, he really needs to pick it up. Like, he's probably a little easier on him. But on some of the second, third liners, like, do you think he probably looks like Marcus Johansson every once in a while? Is like, how are you not burying that? Like, and granted, he's not here after this year, but there's got to be something that he's watching that I would imagine is telling him like, this is not a spot for you. You need to have, in order to win, a couple key pieces. And you thought that they had that because when Boldy's on his game, he looks like a completely different player. Since the Four Nations, we haven't seen that as much. On the back end, I mean, they've had pieces in place, but then also it's weird because you'd think they would want to use some of these pieces like they've traded for with Juracek, but now he has sat out, been a healthy scratch 5, I think, consecutive games since being called up, which that baffles me still. Yep. Why are we, if you're that strung up on handedness on the blue line, like somebody else should come out just to get this guy some playing time. Otherwise, why is he here? But if you're Kirill Kaprizov, you have to, like, personally, you're thinking about your future too. Like, he's from Siberia. He doesn't really have like, he didn't grow up in South St. Paul. He doesn't have a tie to the community as much. Sure, like the fan base has absolutely embraced him as one of their own. When is the last time a Minnesota Wild player has like their own voice tagline when they score a goal? Opa, like, no, that's never happened before. Like, I think he's well aware that he is the superstar. He's the franchise. But when you look at, do you want to win? Do you want to be the guy? Like, you can be Kirill Kaprizov, be the guy in Nashville, in Tampa, in New York, in Toronto. You could do all that, but also you're going to have a team that has probably other superstars in place already set to join you and make a run. On the Wild side of that, though, they're going to say, look, we've been, for essentially the entire time that you've been here, we've had a superstar drawn up in salary cap. Like, we can't do anything about it. So now when you eventually come back and we sign you and all this other stuff, we're going to have that big second kind of superstar guy. If we want to commit money to that, or if we want to split that up into 2 higher end guys, because I'm sure he enjoys playing with Joel Eriksson, who is making $6.25 million a year. You can basically get 2 Joel Eriksson type players. Granted, that was signed a couple years ago, so the inflationary rate probably bumps that up a little bit. But there's 2 sides to this, where he probably, one, can understand that they have a plan in place and things can and should be better. But also I would be shocked if there wasn't a little bit of reservation or, the pesky agent in his ear, like, Kirill, you're not going to do anything with this team. Look at how they're doing without you. If you miss any time, they're not going to be able to do anything in the playoffs, that type of thing. Injury wise, I think it is a little bit of a concern because, frankly, like, how Minnesota fans in general have been dealing with this now for the past couple of years with some major pieces. Over the weekend, Royce Lewis pulls his hamstring going down to first base. Yeah. So like it's one of those where these high talent, franchise defining players once again just has something go on. And now this is multiple seasons in a row for Kirill dealing with this. You would like to think, and the optimist in me says, okay, surgery should fix something. Like, surgery should be the issue. The problem is similar to Kirill's probably reservations. I have reservations about everything that we've been told by Bill Guerin, by John Hines.
Yeah.
Because frankly, they just haven't been that honest with us. It started day to day. Where people like this started day to day. That does not say eventually leads to does not typically leads to surgery.
Right.
Now he's been out since, like you said, end of December. You have no real timetable. Is he like Jesse Pierce has been one of the only people that has like confirmed sighting that he is still alive, walking around. And
I saw him. I saw him last week.
That's right.
He's dressed very well. He looks good. He's talking to the Russian players on other teams. I think he was talking to Breadman last week. That concerns me a little bit. Why don't you come join me on? And you have some good Russian restaurants. Manhattan, eating at 2 a.m. They stay open. The borscht, fantastic. I've got major concerns on both sides now. And again, this is not about this season. This season is what it is. Number one, I still think there's a fighting chance that they didn't LTIR Eriksson Ek and make a trade to hold Kirill and Ek out until the playoffs, because there is a fear that both of them are just done. Like, I think that's a possibility. There's no question Kirill could be done. Like, if we find out tomorrow, hey, you know what, we were kidding, it's not going to work out for this season, no one is going to be surprised. And quite frankly, with where Kirill is in his career, there should be no chances taken. Yeah. There should be zero chances taken. It's not worth it. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup. I don't care. So, but I have major concerns on both sides. One is, can the Wild be active enough in free agency on July 1st while concentrating on Caprizov, who's going to sign a huge contract, to actually add enough to get past what we are watching now. Now, the blue line's going to be really good eventually. Yeah. Like, Buyam's coming up, Merrill's gone, Bogosian's gone. The Yurchek trade I still think was fine. Like I actually like that more now, because you didn't devote a first-round pick to a short-term thing here, which they might have done, which I don't think this team is worth doing now, especially without Kirill. So the blue line will be fine eventually, but do you have enough scoring? I mean, Ogren still, I think you could get him here now, if I'm not mistaken, cap-wise, or you could certainly make moves to, and he's in Iowa scoring, but you clearly don't trust him. Like you're not.
He scored yesterday.
He did. He's got, yeah. So, but the point is that he's not here, and so if you're telling me, like, he's not at the point in his career where it's like, well, hold on a second here, he's a very young man and he can't be, no, he could be. So I'm concerned about two things. One is, if I'm Kirill, I'm taken aback, especially because I'm watching probably from, I don't know where, a suite. I don't know where he watches games, but you're seeing Boldy, and it's like, what is this? Like, that's my teammate. You're seeing that. You're seeing Rossi, who now does look completely gassed. Like, why did they look so tired on Saturday? It's a 7-game homestand. Most of them got an enormous break. They're young. You got an enormous break. Boldy didn't. The only thing I would say on Boldy is, I tend to be harsh on him, and excuse me, I'm giving Faber a little bit of a pass, because now they both might be gassed. That's ridiculous. They shouldn't be, because they shouldn't have played in the damn thing, but they both might be gassed. But then conversely, on Kirill's contract, and this is where Jesse has cautioned us, and I'm sure she'll take a victory lap tomorrow, and she should.
Naturally.
But, what do you give him now? You don't know, you don't know. Like, this is a very, if it's accurate that what we think, which is a groin / hernia, this is very much a Gabrick thing. This is Gabrick 2.0 right there. And if there's any concern that this surgery is just a temporary fix, I don't know. I don't have the answers here, but I think it's a real discussion from both sides about a genuine concern about, how much can you pay him? And don't say, well, you have to pay him. I get that. But if you have to pay him, and this is a lingering problem, you're paying someone who's great when he can play. That's a big difference than does play. And then from his end, and I know he's the most important player, but I don't know that I can watch this and just say, oh, they'll get Brock Besser and that'll fix it. Brock Nelson's coming. And Brock Nelson is a fantastic fit in his role with the Avs, but is he going to come here and just fix things? So
no.
I now have a lot of concerns from both ends on how this is going to go, caused by this injury in particular. If he had broken his leg at least, it would be like, okay, it's going to heal.
Yeah.
With this one, there's a lot of questions, and here's the thing: because of the lack of clarity from the team, those questions are 100% the right ones to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're also putting if you just say, just trust them, just trust them.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't trust teams. I don't automatically think that they're right. I don't automatically think. So if we could deal with the knowledge of exactly what was wrong, and hell, if they just came out and said, he's done. We did surgery, it's over. I'd be like, okay, at least I know a little bit more. But I got major questions on both sides here. One, if I'm Kaprizov about this team. Two, if I'm the Wild, what can I afford to pay a guy who there is a very good chance there's going to be lingering concerns that we're dealing with something that could become an issue again? And if it does, and you're writing that check, guess what? That's trouble.
I feel like they're going to, just because this is a level of a player that they've never had before. They're going to feel inclined, even with.
Oh, I agree.
Even with the injury stuff going on, they're going to feel inclined and almost like urge to, because think about the backlash too. Think about if we get to like September 12th or something like that, October 3rd next year, or the later this year, he hasn't extended yet. Outrage opening night at the XL. That place is going to burn to the ground.
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying it's a conversation. I'm with you. And I'm not saying don't sign him. I'm saying the thought process from both sides, I think, has been changed mightily by the last 2 months, is it now? 2.5 months?
Yeah. And I mean, and also think about how much that throws a wrench in the plan for that 5-year Stanley Cup parade. Like, that would be a major setback to have to like move on from him, because we've talked about that. You're not gonna. I mean, we didn't expect them to win anything with the Fiala trade. Granted, I think you could say, despite even his most recent play, they've won that trade. Like, congrats to Bill Guerin. Like, that was a masterclass.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to do that, replicate that with Kaprizov. Like, I can tell you right now, you're not, unless you get like Bedard and 7 picks. And frankly, it's one of those.
You're 1,000% right, AJ.
You're not going to. When it comes to like bolstering like selling point, I think it's going to mean a lot. And we were kind of talking about this briefly on Saturday night while at the game. But as soon as you can, I think you got to burn that year of Zeev Buium, get him here, because I think showing Kirill, because you expect by that time he's probably back. But based on what they're saying, he's back on the ice. Getting a stretch pass from Zeev Buium where he goes in, maybe makes a move, pass to Zuccarello, score. That shows, okay, this guy is part of our future plan. Dania Yurov, potentially he'll be ready to go and come on over and join. Why not? Show him immediately as soon as possible that these guys are coming. And then, hey, by the way, if you like those two, we're going to have an extra $14.5 million coming off the books that we can use to put a real high-end scorer on your opposite side of you.
I guess my question is, does the Leopold open checkbook policy though change at all based on the fact that they're going to have an idea, like worst case what this was, or they know what it was. They're going to have an idea of what this might mean. Like that's the issue. And I'm with you. I think you have to do it, but you also, from a business standpoint, if you know that this is let's say it's Gabrick. Gabrick kept having this problem. I hope that's not it. But until we know what's wrong, we can do nothing but speculate. Best to worst case.
Do you think they know that it's like potentially? Let's hypothetically here say that we find out that in a couple of weeks they announce, hey, yeah, he's done for the year. Even if they make the playoffs, he's not coming back.
Yep.
They say, you know what? There's a errant line that's like, yeah, we saw this the past couple of weeks maybe, and we just wanted to wait and blah, blah, blah. We find out that they kind of knew, okay, and then they held it. Hey, they're not coming back. what is your reaction to one? He's gone for the year. I mean, at that point, there's zero chance of a Stanley Cup. You didn't do anything at the deadline.
You're not going to
frankly, I think you should have. I don't think you should have. But at that point, I don't even know if you make the playoffs. And then you don't have your first round pick because of the Yurchek trade. But you find out that they held that information. They were like, we're going to try to be optimistic, because I feel like there's a part of Kirill, based on the person that we've learned him to be, is
right.
No, I can come back and I want to come back. That's
why I think they're doing this.
Yeah,
I think they're doing this to appease him. And by the way, I will say this just to be very, very clear. I think in December they did not think he was done.
Oh no,
the surgery though changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he came back and he couldn't play as well. But I think they're as much playing this game for Kirill's sake as they are to keep fans hopeful sake. But if they come out in 2 weeks and say, what they'll say is, with an abundance of caution, we're shutting him down, I won't be surprised one bit. I won't be surprised at all.
Just with the way things are going, it's probably in everybody's best interest.
Yeah, exactly. I just think this starts a conversation that's going to be at least necessary to have about how the last 2+ months have changed a lot of the things that we just assumed. I think now might have been rattled by this, and it's unfortunate, but it's a necessary thing to talk about. As I said, Jesse Pierce, Bar Down Beauties, will join us tomorrow. We will run this question past her, plus talk plenty about, or I'm sure some about, depending on how the game goes, the Wild and Kings playing on Monday night. He's AJ, I'm Judd. We'll see you later on Judd's Hockey Show.